Okay, so not so long ago, I ordered some plants online, which is it's basically the aquarium equivalent of having unprotected sex in Ibiza. You're damn near guaranteed to catch something. And for my sins, I have been infected with the STD of duckweed. Fucking duckweed. Lots of people, though, seem to think that you can't get rid of duckweed, or they say it perhaps a little too lackadaisically, because it's not entirely true. This thing doesn't reproduce by spores. However, if there's any fragment of it left in your tank, it will reproduce and keep growing like that. So I think this presents a good opportunity for me to demonstrate how to get rid of it, because I've done this to myself before and I've got rid of it before. I know for a fact it can be done. It's just laborious and it takes a lot of time. You've got to keep coming back to it and checking after a few weeks and removing the last of it. So I'll just get started with that. So the absolute first thing you want to do is get rid of anything breaching the surface, because it's going to cling to that. So in this tank, it's not going to be such a problem. I'll just give the plants a trim up before I do anything to it. Also got it in all of these three up here. They're not nearly as bad, but it's still here. There you go. And these are a pain in the bum because I got these driftwood moss tree type of things that will harbour it. But I got a plan for them too, and we'll get to them when we get to them. But to start with, I'm just going to trim up everything I can that's breaking the surface. Starting with this tank, because he's going to be a nice, easy one to demonstrate on, I think.
So I'm also, rather than just the ones that are breaching the surface, I'm just going to give this tank a general trim up while I'm at it. And I'm saving all the plants in a little sandwich bag here, because I've got a new tank coming in the post tomorrow. It's going to be for primarily scuds and isopods, just as like a little food factory for this tank here. So pretty much anything's getting chopped that I fancy. Need all the plants I can get for that. 2 birds, 1 stone. It's the aim of the game. And try and bear in mind whenever you're chopping stuff like this, that basically on a lot of plants, wherever you cut, it's going to branch off into 2, wherever you break that apial dominance. You can see it on, I don't know if you can see it on it in this shop, you can see it on this guy here. I chopped him, he's split into 2. These dudes at the back, I don't know what they're called, they grow so prolifically though, they always do it. And this guy here, look, he's done it. So just whenever you are making a cut on a plant, bear in mind it's going to branch off into 2. For that reason, you probably most of the time just want to cut fairly low down. So it looks like you've got a denser amount of plants than you really do, rather than a bunch of big Y-shaped things sticking up. And always try and cut basically at like a leaf node as well. And also as well, if you trim them a little bit further down and try and stop anything, rather than just getting rid of anything that's currently breaking the surface, anything that will break the surface in a sort of a few weeks or however long a period, it's just going to come in handier when you come back and do your second sweep at getting rid of the duckweed, so you're trimming quite so much again the next time.
Okay, so there we go. Nothing breaking the surface or really close to it anymore. So anything we got left floating on the top is either a desirable floating plant, like the red root floaters, a bit of just general debris from off cancer plants or things that have floated up to the surface, and duckweed. Right, so now we get to move on to phase 2. Alright, so phase 2. Just going to borrow this grow light here. Give us a hand spotting this stuff. We have 2 vessels. Simply fill a tank water, a little bit of it anyway. You don't need a lot in there. One of these is going to be for good plants. I'm going to use this here bowl. And one of these is effectively a bin. And I'm going to use this one since I already picked up some duckweed when I was filling it up. And the reason for that is it just helps get it off of your tweezers a little bit if there's some water to dip the tweezers into. And we're just going to painstakingly start scooping. And we see a red root floater there. We want to keep him. We give him a little shake in there. Make sure any duckweed that's stuck to him comes off. A little bit flew off just then. Bosh, into the keeping bowl. And so on for the entire tank. And every other fucking tank that we got as well. So, I mean, you can kind of see why people say it's damn near impossible to get rid of, because it's just... If you were to have, like, a fish room with 30-odd tanks and you wanted to get rid of the duckweed, this is weeks and weeks of work doing it like this. However, once it's gone until you reintroduce... Well, not strictly true. You're going to have to come back and do this a few times over a period of time. But, you know, you do it sort of 3-4 times... few weeks in between each go, something like that, and you will get rid of it, I assure you, eventually. And then no more duckweed for you. So it's really hard to film under one hand and scoop it out. But yeah, that's how you do it. One leaf at a time. One leaf at a time. And you could potentially leave all the duckweed until the very end, or, because, I mean, this is going to become boring. You might want to switch it up and you just scoop out a little bit of duckweed with your tweezers. Dip your tweezers in the bin water. Scoop a little out. Dip it away. Any rubbish bits like that you don't want, take the time to clear them out as well. He's a keeper. Give him a shake. There's a little bit of duckweed floated off of him. That shake is very important to save you having to come back and doing it too often, because it just clings to everything. Just clings to everything. So you get yourself a floater, give him a shake up, put him in the keep bowl.
Duckweed, pick up the plants. Nobody likes duckweed. Duckweed, no one wants duckweed in their tank, cause it grows real fast. Duckweed. Get rid of duckweed, pull it all out the top of your tank, otherwise it'll take the lot over, and that's really quite rare.
Okay, so then we are left with our bowl of floating plants to keep, our bowl of duckweed and whatever else we've decided to discard, and as far as we can visibly see, a duckweed-free tank. Do not be so naive as to think this is duckweed-free. What we do, we reintroduce our floating plants. Get them back in there. And now we just keep an eye on it. And yeah, you can either give it a period of time and repeat the process over and over again, or if you're like me and you're checking out your tanks every day, from here on out it's just mission exterminate duckweed. Anytime you see a piece of duckweed, pull it out. And eventually it'll stop coming back. But it will take you more than one go. I'll come back in future and give you updates on it so that you can see the proof in the pudding, so to speak. But yeah, there it is for now. And yeah, I'm just going to repeat the same process on all of these 3 tanks. The trouble, yeah, like I said, that we're going to have with these is I'll try and get the water level as high as I can to get these floating out of this moss, because it's such a pain. Failing that, I'll probably rinse it off I just try and rinse it all into there, but just be mindful of stuff like that. This is where it gets trapped, and this is where it starts to feel like it's impossible to get rid of it, because you pick it all out and you pick it all out, and then like one little piece is tucked away in this moss, and that's enough to kick it off again. So you just, once you've done that initial clean, you just have to be vigilant on it and just keep coming back, keep trying again, keep coming back, keep trying again, and yeah, eventually you'll end up on top of it. Something I've just done, and I've literally turned up another piece of duckweed like a second afterwards, is you got the filter back on, your plants are back in, just give them a few pokes. Just go around poking them for a bit with your tweezers. See if any little bits of duckweed fly up, because it's just happened to me. So yeah, it is a pain in the arse, but it is possible. Just prod, 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 and just check. Make sure you got everything that you can visibly see this time around.
2 months later.
And it took me about 2 months total. It's been about 2 months since the last clip. I've been checking them weekly. I know I was a bit vague on how often to do it before, but weekly is about what I settled on. And I haven't seen any pop up in about 3 weeks, something like that. So I reckon we're about clear now. These tree things were a fucking pain in the arse. But the way I got around that was just whenever I did a water change, I would fill it up above the tree level. So this one's about that level, the others have gone down a bit. Poke them around, knock any loose, get any out, and then when I was taking the water down and the water change as well, I'd also scrape all around the sides and get anything that was stuck along the sides of these things. But yeah, there you go. I'll just poke some stuff around with a toothbrush to further evidence a complete lack of duckweed. But there you go. It can be done. Just with patience and vigilance. Simple as that. It's just a bit of a ball ache is all. And there's the other tank. I opted just to get rid of the floaters in that tank. It was just much easier to do it without the floating plants in there. But yeah, there you go. Duckweed. Not the end of the world if you do get it. It's the sort of thing that's going to make you roll your eyes and go, oh, come on. But it can be dealt with. So never fret. Oh, and incidentally, I've been dealing with lots of things in the same way, to be fair, that people say, oh, once you got it, you can't get rid of it. Hydra, I've had an outbreak of Hydra in these 2 tanks, and I've just been, multiple times a day, coming and have a look and sucking them out with a syringe, or you probably shouldn't have done it, but I just smear them up against the glass and pull them off. But you'd have thought that would create loads of Hydra, but it doesn't seem to have. To be fair, I've also been not powder feeding these 2 tanks, so... and bladder snails as well. I've had so many bladder snails, and I've just been multiple times a day. They were all in this tank and all in the new Scud and Isopod tank. And I just check them multiple times a day, pull them out, throw them in with the pea puffers, and mate, there's less and less of them. I'm still getting them come up at the minute, but less and less of them. And I'm convinced, to be fair, there's probably most things you can take care of just with patience and persistence, to be honest with you. So there you go. That's that. See ya.